Hey guys, welcome back. This is Storm and this is episode 114 of my single player Tiveden world. Hope you guys are going awesomely well. So you can tell that I've been working on this area a little bit more since that last episode. I've extended out the wheat crop here in this kind of direction, filling out this space. I might go a little bit further towards down to this water here as well. And you can see I've got in some fences that I've started to kind of close off this area, make it look a little bit more some kind of paddock or some kind of crop that someone might want to harvest or keep people out of. I guess it could go both ways. And this bridge along here, or this pathway, I've been working on as well. I did take into consideration some of the feedback you guys were leaving about the design. Some of you were enjoying it, some of you weren't really digging it. But I think the look here is something I'm happy with. I've got in some jungle slabs now, and I've increased the amount of oak slabs. And I think having a larger number of trapdoors as well, just mixed into the pathway, kind of just gives this a little bit more of a, I don't know, just some kind of, not like really worn down, but just some kind of different look for a pathway. And it's a little bit narrower, a little bit wider in certain spots. You can see I've started to extend it a little bit more in this direction. I probably will make this path keep going up in this direction. And yeah, I'm pretty happy the way this is going to look. And at night time, I think it looks pretty cool as well. We've got all these redstone lamps lit up around the base of this walkway. So I think I'm going to stick with this theme. I will extend this out in this direction, and hopefully it's going to turn out as well as I want it to be. And you can see along here, this is where I've started to put a little bit more wheat going in this direction. And yeah, I'm not sure where this path is going to go just yet, but I think this is where we'll just make it come across here, then we'll follow normal path kind of designs up along this direction. And our main island is over in that way, so eventually this kind of pathway will somehow need to work its way in that direction, so we'll be able to use maybe a horse or something to cruise out here rather than just using an elytra all the time. So I'm going to work on this pathway a little bit more, and then hopefully when I come back I can show you guys some progress. So you can see I'm making a little bit more progress now as we bend this path around in this direction, and I'm trying to outline where we'll go down this way. So if we just hop down here, I think we'll have the path come along this way, then maybe bend around a little bit to the right, and basically we're working our way towards our two towers that we have down here. So you can start to see them render in now. I've been working on these as well, so we'll go check that out in a minute, but I think this path is coming along okay. Hard part is trying to get the shape right, because none of this about this path is even or nicely laid out. It's kind of a bit of guesswork. I'm not really measuring anything, I'm just building it and seeing if it kind of looks right. And I think that adds a bit of character, being this whole country area. I don't think everything has to be perfect. So none of the path here is perfect, none of the widths are exactly the same. It's all a bit of guesswork and a bit of trial and error, but I think that's okay. And what do you think of this? This is something that I thought we'll create at this entrance here. Maybe some like archway kind of thing. It's because it's an odd kind of width here and odd angle, we've kind of got this weird archway design up the top, but I don't know, maybe it could work, or I don't know, maybe I'll get rid of it as well. I'm not sure yet, but I kind of like the way this is coming together. So we are on the home stretch, and hopefully when I come back I'll show you guys the end result. Okay, so we are now back, and it's going to be nighttime in a second, but why not? How long do you think that was in between takes since working on this? It may seem like just seconds for you, but it was days, real life days for me, working on this area on and off, and my goodness, the amount of work has gone into this area. It may not stand out like that, it doesn't perhaps look that different, but you might notice like here, I've got this little slopey section here that trying to makes it blend a little bit more naturally towards the terrain. So it's not as far from the ground, and if you look at it from the side, I think it looks a whole lot better. You can see this archway is now gone, and yeah, there's just a whole lot of detail that's going into this area that I didn't plan to do at the start. But how you going? going to just cruise around there, Mr. Skeleton. Yeah, so you can see this kind of slopes down and around. I think it looks better. I think it looks more natural. It's, yeah, pretty hard to get the shape right, and you can see I've extended all this wheat all the way down to the water here, and I think that's a nice look. And if we cruise along the path, let's just grab a nice way to get in here. Here we go. So let's cruise down this way, and head down this little slopey section. I think the transition's okay, and if you just watch where you're walking when you sprint, you should better continue to sprint along here. Perfect. It's starting to rain. And yeah, so as we come along here, this whole area, this is all been worked on. The whole wheat has been extended on both sides, and it slopes down on this other end. And I think that's pretty cool. So maybe we should quickly sleep before these guys ruin my day too much. Let's see if we can get down here and make sure there's no creepers. I've already had a couple of creeper explosions near here. I think the coast is clear. Okay, let's jump in. Let's see if we can get rid of this rain while we're at it. And as you can see, I've got an extra couple of these chests over here. I've brought over more seeds, more supplies, trying to get things going for us, and I think it's all paid off. And I don't know how it's going to render out in the video because of the all the different pixels for all the wheat crops, but I think it looks pretty good in game. Yeah, and hopefully you guys like it. But let's go over here. Let's go and check this out. This is our towers that we had worked on in between episodes as well, which you guys haven't seen yet. So let's cruise up here and check this out. So what do you think? It's pretty much done. I think I'm done with this tower. I had worked on... Whoops, I'm going to miss that, aren't I? We had worked on this a little bit, looking at the different themes for the sides. I've completed all the sides now, and I'm pretty happy with the overall look. We'll go up this ladder, actually, and it might get a better look from up here. So, what do you think? This is the tower. It's maybe a little bit too plain. I did see some comments about adding some colour into this kind of tower, but I kind of wanted it to, in a way, match this one. So it is different in terms of the look and the blocks. So this one has andesite or something like that. No, not andesite. What is that thing? I think it's quartz or something. Whatever that other block is. It's not quartz. It's not andesite. Yeah, I've forgotten it. Whatever that other block is, that brownish kind of block that's over there. And this one has got a whole mixture of the clay and wood type variants, mixing in some of these emeralds as well for lighting. And I think I like it. You guys may not, but I do like it. It's a shame we've got the clouds at the moment, so you could see it in all its glory. But it didn't go without hiccups or issues. When I was collecting all that clay, kind of ran into some problems, and yeah, but let's not talk about that. I managed to get out of that situation and complete this build, so that's pretty cool. Now, on the inside, I kind of left you guys on a cliffhanger with Thomas. You guys remember Thomas? He kind of tried to flood my place here. I did replace the block. You've got lapis, and I do need to put these into a better position at some point as well. But you can see I've started to think about the insides. I'm not exactly sure what I'll go with. Doesn't that look weird? But yeah, I'm thinking of maybe having a staircase. I might change out the block type though. I'm not sure if I want to stay with the stone variants, these stone brick. And I might want to create an actual room for putting in all these donation blocks as well. So that's something I do need to think about. So I've climbed up this top section of this tower, and I thought I should show you guys the view. I couldn't show you the tower without without the view, so here you go. And I've increased my render distance a little bit more, so you can see the wheat farm in all its glory. I've got fog turned on, so you can't really see it front on, but when I turn around, you can see the path there. And if I could increase my render distance a little bit further, we'll be able to see all of that in all its glory. So maybe in the future with a new PC, I could do that. Let's get up to the very top. Let's see how good my my flying skills are for that. Okay, here we go. We're coming in hot. Oh, yeah. Oh, what? We totally bounced off. Yeah, ignore that. Oh my goodness, I almost died. Okay, yep, ignore that too. Okay, so I guess this is the closest we're going to get. Okay, we can probably mine our way through. Alright, there we go. Yeah, why not? Let's do the sneaky entrance. Do it that way. Okay, so this is the top. Alright, so this is where you can see down. And I could probably have something up here, and it's because I've got these slabs down here, this is just really to minimize mob spawning. Eventually I'll probably put carpet or something here, so it doesn't look quite as hideous. But then again, I can just get straight up onto the edge and the top like that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so here is the top. You can see how much higher we are now compared to this other tower, and it's not a bad view. And yeah, I think it'll look even more awesome with the increased render distance. So I remember in one of my more recent videos, I had a comment about, did I have my zombie in full diamond armor still? And as you can tell, I certainly do. This is the guy. He's a little bit angry. He's yeah, just grumpy. I'm not sure if he just is just stuck in here. It just doesn't want to come out and enjoy the sunshine. It's just a little bit strange. But yeah, you're free to go. I mean, there's nothing locking that door. You can just open it. Yeah, sometimes he likes to just dangle out the shield every now and then, but that's about it. So I guess he's made this pretty much this structure his own, and doesn't like visitors. But I certainly still have this zombie, and yeah, he's not giving him back my sword, so that is still the case. So we're going to change some things up a little bit here. We're going to head over into our Mesa biome. So we're just going to jump on through this portal. And I wanted to show you guys an idea that I had. I'm not sure if it's going to be any good or if it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those crazy ideas I get sometimes. Actually, this area here, this probably looks slightly different since you guys had last seen it. A few extra trees, and it's kind of, this is certainly growing. This whole area is starting to grow. As I've been out here collecting hardened clay, I just can't help myself and try and multitask, so this whole farming area just keeps on growing as well. Getting a whole lot of good stuff out of that, but for what I don't need any farm material. I need redstone, so let's grab, I probably need that as well. Let's grab our observers, and that might be about it. Let's get some building blocks as well. Yeah, some stone will do. In fact, that's, yeah, let's switch these picks around so we can experiment. Okay, so something I wanted to try. Actually, before we show you guys what I was thinking of doing here, let's just come down into the mines, because I have been making some progress down in here as well, in between episodes. So since you had last seen it, I had dug out a few areas. Whoa, there's a creeper right there. Let's see if we can sneak past. And yeah, I've made some tunnels, and none of this is probably all that new, but I have expanded it further. So I think this area here is new, where we've got this kind of like double room, mining room, something like this, just something a bit different to change up the patterns and the layouts. We've got that area. This is like an unfinished area. And then we've got another track that goes down. Oh, actually, where am I? I have to think where we are. Okay, I can't get to it from here, so I have to come up. Hopefully, yep, we don't have any attacking creepers, that's okay. And if we come down here, this is all new. So if I come down this way, I've created this area here, so this is where we've kind of got like a hiding zombie in the corner, but this is like a ravine, like a little mock ravine or something like that. I don't know, something a bit different, and maybe we could make a minecart jump over that somehow, so that could be pretty interesting. We've got some transition rooms, starting to add a little bit of detail. I haven't added too much detail just yet. It's kind of like just a bit of an experiment as I create this mine system. And it's been a lot of fun, because it's not too often that you get to do something like this, playing around with different blocks and building logics for a mine shaft. And really, it is, end of the day, it's just all cosmetic. It certainly was just here for me to get more hardened clay for my projects. But while I'm at it, why not make something that looks half decent? So that's my plan anyway. So what I wanted to show you guys is I've got all these redstone lamps around here that are all lit up, all looks nice, and everything looks pretty predictable, pretty much the same. So what I thought we would do is, how would things be if we had a little bit of randomization to these blocks being on or off? So what I thought we could try is, let's just create ourselves a bit of room here, get rid of these tracks, and I wanted to experiment with an idea that I had. So I brought over some vines, that might be a clue, or not. So let's grab some building materials. So what do I need here? I'm going to have an observer down the bottom. I'm trying to think myself how this is going to work, because I've only got the idea. I haven't actually tried what I'm about to do yet. So if I have myself an observer, okay, we're going to go this way. All right, fine. If we have ourselves an observer, and then if we had a piston on top, and then just a block on top, that could be interesting. And then if we had a block here, and then a block a redstone dust there. So what should happen is when this gets a block update, that piston gets extended. So that's going to work okay. So what we could do I have some redstone torches? I do. Okay. Let's do something like this. So if we had a redstone torch on the side and then another block on top, we'll get this strange pulsing thing, and that's okay. That's been in the game for a long time. But what we could do is if we had two torches, so one will always be on because this is not going to get burnt out like this torch does. So let's get rid of this as well. And if we had like these connecting up like this, and let's just see what happens here. If I even put in a repeater here, this might make it look a little bit nicer. So if I had a repeater there, see these are both on. Now let's update it. So how am I going to do that? You can see these guys are pulsing, so they're going to mainly be on, but they will also flicker off if this gets a block update. So what I basically need to do now is have this observer observe something randomly. So one way we could do that is use vines. I think this is going to be a pretty easy way to do it. So if we had a vine growing on this block, what would happen is this vine would eventually grow down on top of this piston, and that's okay, that's fine. And then we'll also then have the vine come down, grow on top of the observer. That will break the vine because the piston's going to extend. That will reset this whole cycle because the vine is now only on this top block. It'll grow down eventually again. And then that means every now and then, when this vine is all the way grown down to here, this will get a block update and these will flicker. So that's my kind of idea, that if I had this kind of redstone hooked up to some of these redstone lamps, not all of them, but just some of them, we could have, like every 20 minutes or so, a bit of flickering action going on with these redstone lamps. So I think I'll try this out. I'll just make a bit of a room inside one of these tunnels along the, like in the walls. Then I'll hook up the redstone to some of these redstone lamps, and then we'll see what does it look like when these things fire. So I've finished installing one of these contraptions, and I think it's going to work for us. I've made a few modifications along the way as well, to just simplifying things and hopefully making it more reliable as well. I've just got rid of the extra torch. It turns out I didn't really need it, so I've just got this single torch going into some redstone. Very simple design. This is not much redstone in this at all. And then I've just got a repeater here on 3 ticks going into this torch underneath. Because I've got no real block next to these redstone lamps where I can power it directly, that's why I need to have another torch underneath so I can power it from underneath. And this is going to work for us. So I've got this redstone hooked up to both of these redstone lamps, and to activate it, just to test it, see the flickering? I think that's pretty cool, and I could probably add in some more delays to make these flicker not exactly at the same times. And this is the kind of thing that I want, where these will randomly go off. Now, I will have the sound, obviously, from the pistons, but you know what? That's also part of the charm, I think. That's what I want to add here as well, because that adds some sound and some life into these mine shaft, and it sounds very mechanical, the piston. So I think that's a fitting kind of sound to have in this area anyway. So I'm going to clean all this up, and hopefully we can capture when this vine grows and these lights decide to flicker. Oh, I can't believe I actually captured that. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I've even left the computer running, come back, and it still hadn't gone. I didn't think, but then I wasn't sure if I had missed it, but there we go. We have ourselves our flickering light. So I had this one, and this one all hooked up to the contraption, which was all nicely hidden away now. You can't really see it, but it's back. Well, you can't see it, but it is back in there. And yeah, this is what it looks like. So that's pretty cool. And the fact that vines will grow quite slowly, and it has to grow 2 spots, 2 blocks basically, before it activates that detector observer. That's what I was after. Yeah, because it takes quite a while to grow, it means these will flicker quite infrequently. And then if I had a few of these set up around the place, so not every single one of these will be hooked up, but maybe every so often, so maybe we'll have another one down here somewhere, then a few off to the side. It could mean that, yeah, just be walking along, then you might hear some pistons firing, or you might see some lights flicker in the distance. I think that could be a nice kind of effect, kind of give a bit of a spooky feel maybe to the mine shafts here, and just add a bit of life into this area as well. Otherwise, it's just, yeah, just dead corridors besides me and my zombie up here. So to finish off this episode, I've decided to come back and finish off where we had started, which is right here in this middle of this never-ending wheat farm. But you can see a whole lot of this wheat is now fully grown. And I have made a few more changes as well by just putting some torches along some of these fences, and I've made the fence come down and kind of connect at the entrances here, both on this end and all the way on the other end. And I've also made this fence kind of containerize basically this whole wheat area here as well. And you can see most of the wheat now is fully grown, and I've also planted a tree up there. So a few little small changes. I can't help myself. I like coming back here and just, yeah, it's kind of relaxing just wandering through this area, looking at the wheat. And yeah, if we just had sound or wind in this game, it would be a pretty cool area to walk through as well. But we can always imagine. So there we go. Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you liked the episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, thanks guys. Cheers.